back to Cool River Cafe. Now, this time last year, I was with the Great British Food Festival at Hardwick Hall, and I was demonstrating in front of a few hundred people, which, I'm not going to lie, was a bit nervous about, how to do one of our key staples here at Cool River Cafe, which is, of course, our quiches. And that's going to be what I'll be presenting to you today. But before I do, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. To begin with, you need to make a shortcrust pastry. I've already made mine and it's in the fridge resting. For this recipe, follow the link in the description box below. Now the pastry is chilling out in the fridge, I'm going to be talking you through the moulds that we have. Our first mould is the one that you'll probably recognise from the cafe, which is our square mould. It's about 4 inches wide and about 2 inches deep. But for today's demonstration, I'm going to be showing you our original mould, which is about 9 inches wide and about 1.5 inches deep. Now, if you've got something similar, it will work absolutely fine. And the next thing I'm going to be doing with this is greasing it. And you can do this either using some butter or some non-stick bread, which is what I'll be using today. This pastry has now had 15 minutes in the fridge, and as you can see, it's started to really firm up now. And I'm going to be using half of it. So the other half I'll be leaving either in the fridge, as long as you can film it, it'll keep 3 days in the fridge, or 3 months if you leave it in the freezer. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is just to sprinkle a light sprinkle of flour down. I'm just using the pastry flour that I used before. If you're using plain flour, just stick with plain flour. Put a little bit down, and now I'm just going to add a touch more over the actual pastry. And then with the rolling pin, I'm just going to be lightly rolling it to begin with, and always move the pastry. You don't want it to stick into one spot. So as you can see, I'm just going to be moving it. If you do about a third turn each time, you should then be able to keep it nice and circular. As you can see, I'm being really gentle with it, making sure that it's not sticking to the surface, not adding any more flour to it. As the more flour you add, the drier it will become. And the kind of depth that you're looking for is about a 3 to 4 millimeter depth. Right, now I've got this pastry to about the thickness that I want it at. And as you can see, it's still able just to move freely on the surface. What I want to do now is just to measure the mould to make sure the pastry will fit the mould. And the way you do this is you take your rolling pin and you just measure the mould. So it comes to there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add on about another inch or so just to make sure it comes up the sides. Then I'm going to take that and pop it over the pastry, go around all the sides. And as you can see, that should then fit the mould. Now the hardest thing is to get the pastry from here into the mould. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that by simply taking a little bit of flour, and I'm going to dust the top of the pastry very, very lightly. Just going to spread that around. This will just stop it from sticking to the rolling pin. And all I'm going to do in a very quick motion is I'm going to roll this up, take it over here, unroll it, and then just ease it in with my fingers. Okay, so here we go. And you have to be really gentle when you do this. You don't want it to stick together. And lay it across. I'm not going to press it in, otherwise it will just cut out the pastry around the mould. Now I'm going to just use my fingers just to lift it up and lightly press into the corners. I'm just going to go all the way around. Like so. And then once I've done this, I'm going to cut off a little bit of excess pastry. I'm just going to help that to really hit the corners of the mould.
Now once you've got it to this stage, what you want to do is I tend to use a small serrated knife just to go around the edges to make a nice smooth edge. And the way I do that is just in a swirling motion at a bit of an angle, so we're not going to be cutting down into it, just cutting just around it like so. And this just neatens up with this. any excess pastry that you get come off it. And there might be quite a bit, which is absolutely fine. All you want to do is just to push it all back together into a ball of dough, and you'll be able to reuse this. And again, you can pop it in the fridge, it'll keep for 3 days, or pop it in the freezer and it'll last for 3 months, and that'll be good to roll out.
At this stage, people will be telling you it's time to blind bake. In this recipe, I don't find that necessary, and I'll be proving that at the end of this video when I turn it out and you'll see a lovely golden, fully cooked pastry. No soggy bottom here. Now time for the base, and we always start here at Cool with the Cafe with our base being a white onion. I'm going to show you how to top up one of these onions. So, first things first, you need to always keep this part in, and that's called the root. Then I'm going to turn it over to the other side and just take off the top. And then slicing directly through the root like that, I'm going to go straight in half. And at this point I'm just going to peel down the onion. Once you've got your onion to this point, I'm then going to use a small serrated knife just to cut down here like so, and then I'll be going in here to cut through there. So here we go, and always make sure you keep the root intact and thumb at the very back with fingers so you don't cut yourself. And now I'm going through here, and then it's all kept in, which makes it so much easier when you cut down here to get a nice fine dice. Now we've got the onion finely diced, as you can see, I'm going to just add this into the base of the pastry, and you just want a nice thin layer of onion, like so. The next layer to this will be mature cheddar cheese that I've just grated up using probably just less than a handful of cheese, and this just gives it a nice strong structure. Here at the cafe we always mix up our quiche flavours, so please leave a comment and let me know what your favourite quiche flavour is, and it might even make its way onto the menu. But for today's recipe I'm going to be doing a chorizo and cherry tomato. So I've got some lovely cherry tomatoes that are on the vine here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these in half like so. And when it comes to fillings, you can use pretty much any type of filling. If you're using meat, I would suggest pre-cooking it first. With things like mushrooms, tomatoes, leeks, anything like that, so long as you cut them up finely enough, then they will cook during the cooking process. So now I've got plenty of cherry tomatoes in half. I'm just going to scatter them straight in and give them a nice little mix around. And I've already got some chorizo that I've already pre-sliced, so I'm just going to add straight in. And again, like some of our most popular flavours, they would include a pepper and feta with some oregano run through it, which is another very popular one, as well as sausage and leek, bacon and mushroom. Kind of flavour combinations are pretty much endless, so really use your imagination and let me know what you come up with. The final thing to add into this mix is just salt and pepper, and I tend to do this straight in to the quiche itself as opposed to the egg mix, just so you can evenly distribute the salt and pepper. And this salt and pepper makes a huge difference at the end of the cooking process, just to really optimise on flavour. Now it's time for the egg mix. And what you need to know with this is it's 6 eggs to a pint of milk. And for this recipe I'll be needing about 5 eggs to 500 ml of milk, and I'm using semi-skimmed milk. You can use whole milk if you prefer, that's completely up to you. So into my bowl I'm going to crack in the eggs. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly whisk these eggs together. You don't want to incorporate too much air into the mix, you just want to break down the eggs and make sure they're nicely broken up like so. And then I've got some milk pre-weighed out, which I'm just going to, as I whisk, pour it in. And that's the egg mix done. It's as simple as that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pour it back into the jug. So into a preheated oven at 170 degrees, I'm going to be placing this straight in, not on any baking tray or anything like that, just directly onto the rack. And I'm doing it this way round because you'll most likely spill it if you try and do it from a tabletop into the oven. And I'm going to just be filling it up. So as you can see, I've filled it right to the rim, and that's really important for this recipe. I'll be popping this in the oven for about 40 minutes. Some ovens may take a bit longer. Alright, so let's see what's going on in here. As you can see, it's almost like souffled up, and you can tell it's cooked because it's starting to pull away from the sides as well. What you're really looking for is for it to have a nice slight wobble to it. Can you see that? It just like wobbles away. Absolutely perfect. Now this quiche is out of the oven, I'm going to slide it onto a cooling rack. You need to be really careful when you go to do this, and I'm just going to really quickly pop it on. As you can see, this pastry is lovely and evenly cooked, just as I said. And as you can see, we've not got a soggy bottom in sight. Time for the taste test. Let's dig in. Now that is a recipe you just have to try. Thanks for viewing my video today, and keep an eye out for future videos where I'll be utilising the same pastry for more delicious pies. Until then, take care, and I'll see you on my next video.